Yeah, premature thanks very much, John, from me there. I forgot about the promo, which we have, but delight to be joined by Rob Lewis. Good to see you, Rob.
How are we doing, Richard?
I'm very well, thank you. Hot-footed over from duties at Alton Park yesterday. And I asked you earlier on, where's your car? Because you're part and parcel of modified Fords. But no, it's a bit much, isn't it, to be on duty, sort of preparing a car, doing one meeting, coming over here, and so on and so forth.
It was a bit much, but I still wanted to show my hand for the modified Ford, so I've come up here today and finally been allowed to jump into the commentary box and tell everyone how great this series is. All sorts of cars going out on the circuit now, headed up by that beautiful AU Falcon of Andy Robinson. I can't wait for this one.
You're a bit of a fan of those, aren't you?
Just a bit.
Here's the grid, here's how they line up. We'll talk about classes and everything else later on, but Andy Robinson on pole. James Allen lines up second from Kevin White and Paul Neville. David Guthrie next from Ian Blackley. Ben Purnell seventh, and Scott Tollan completing our top 8. Ninth on the grid, Stefan Marsh. Then it's Dave Cockle, out of position. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. Chris Harrison and Alistair McMillan next up from Lucas Dryden and Steve Primmett. Then it's Dave Barrett and Leslie Chapelhow wrapping up our top 16. The grid completed by Piers Warwick in his Mark 1 Escort. Lots of different classes to mention. I think podium-wise, as you've seen, because we have quite a quick turnaround between races, we're not going to be able to interview the winners of, I think we've got 5 classes present, so we'll probably do top 3 down in Parc Ferme. But no, you're the guy that knows all about this. Few surprises, or at least one big surprise from qualifying.
Dave Cockhill is not at the front where he usually is. I spoke to him this morning. He had a bulkhead fitting fail on his power steering going through the chicane on the first lap of qualifying, and unfortunately, when you've got power steering in these cars, they've got massive slicks on them, and that is James Allen he's got a rear wheel that's locked up. He's in the pit lane. That's our front row starter, James Allen. He's had a failure on the rear left.
That's real hard lines, isn't it, for James? So much work goes into these.
That is gutting. He was so looking forward to this. Is that a suspension collapse or something? But the rear left wheel was completely locked up as he came into the pit lane, like something had failed. Luckily enough, they're right below our commentary box. So unfortunately, we do lose James Allen from the front row. Such a shame.
Yeah, that's a big pity. The car we were expecting James to run. Always grab an interview with him at some point because he's always on the podium, but not today, sadly.
Doesn't look that way, but there's always race 2 to come, so his team are frantically scrabbling down with the air bottle. They have got air jacks equipped on this car, so they can get it up into the air. Hopefully, if our cameraman can get down there quick enough as well, they can film what's going on. But as you can see on screen, it's Andy Robinson's front row on his own with Paul Neville, who's got some clear air in front of him, and a really impressive qualifying as well from Kevin White in that. It's down on the list as a Fiesta ST 150. If it's Class A, it's turbocharged, so it's definitely at the top end of the power to weight on that. But as you can see in the bottom right of the screen, they're looking at that rear left. Something seems to have collapsed on the car. It just came in completely locked up, so whether a caliper's gone or a part of the suspension, the team are just looking to find out what's happening now. They're rotating the wheel, so it can't be a brake caliper. Potentially looks to be collapsed suspension of some sort. But the field head away now on their green flag lap, headed by Andy Robinson, smoking the rear tyres. And everyone now getting into their weave, getting those slick tyres warmed up. It's definitely slick tyre weather today. What a grid, Richard.
We could even hear the supercar going through, can't we?
Oh,
on the back. That is absolutely mega. The great thing about because it's a series, there's no pressure for drivers to do every round, so it gives like yourself the luxury to dial in the requirements of your home life and your work life in and around the racing. So it works well championship-wise because we get to see different cars at different events.
Yes, absolutely. And a lot of people here are business owners, but we have a lot of races as well that are what I would call PAYE races as well. So they, monthly paid workers, and they go racing on their own budget. I'm one of them. So if you can opt out of a couple of rounds like I've done today, and that's such a shame. That's a James Allen car being pushed away. It is free rolling, but clearly there is an issue with that car. He's not going towards the end of the pit lane to potentially take the start.
That's a long push for him as well, back to the paddocks on the runway, isn't it?
Yeah.
And those of you who know Croft will know that's right the way down the end of the pit lane, plus a bit more, and turn left, and then a little bit further as well.
Just a bit further on. James Allen's out of the car, so that's such a shame. That's a retirement from race 1 already for James Allen. But we saw on screen there as well Piers Warwick, who's bringing up the rear of the grid in his Nissan turbo-powered Mark 1 Escort. He didn't quite get the lap he wanted to yesterday, so look out for him coming through the field. But in the middle there somewhere is Dave Cockhill. He's currently sitting 10th place overall, which turns to 9th now that James has retired from the race, unfortunately. He will be looking to come through, and he's got a bit of skill doing that, as you commentated on a few years ago at Silverstone, Richard.
He has. He loves working his way through the field. He went to one of the drivers that went to Mondello. Didn't he get three wins there, or two outrights in the class? Or
he got 3 class wins off the top of my head, and he did have one where he came through the field.
It was class wins. Jim Hutchinson, Jason Davis and Jim Hutchinson were the outright winners.
Yeah.
I did the notes, I might as well read them.
Absolutely, but James Allen out of his car. We could just see him out the back of our commentary box. He is absolutely gutted, and we're gutted for him. But this race is about to get underway here at Croft. The grid head down into the final hairpin and grid up 2 by 2. A bit like Noah's Ark, as a runyourfleet.com Jaguar safety car comes in. We're about to start this race.
Quite sure when Noah's Ark comes into. We haven't had any rain lately, mate, but you're right about Paul Neville, who's got that drop snoot Escort in the that clear space, and he's going to try and get away for our rolling start. I love a rolling start, particularly with such a great diverse grid. And away we go with Andy Robinson, perhaps unsurprisingly getting away in front. But remember, lots of class honours to go here, so it's the Super A-class car that leads. Paul Neville that's a B-plus car, not an A-plus as on TSL.
Definitely a B-plus car, but Ian Blackley was looking to get an opportunity there in his Puma turbo-powered Puma, as he's up the rear end of the RSR, driven by Ben Purnell, and Stefan Marsh looking to get some extra places as he follows the bright orange Escort Cosworth. I think it was Ali McMillan, that one. There's a pair of Escorts in this field. But lots of individual battle packs going on up and down the grid, and there is our man we're looking for, number 95, Dave Cockle, as he looks to make a move through the grid, and he gets past his first victim, which is the Fiesta ST150. I think, is that Kevin White?
I think it is, yeah. I was chatting to Dave Cockle on Friday night, and he was saying that he was really not keen on doing too many events this year. Went out to Mondello, probably against his better judgment, and then had the 3 class wins, because he said what I was going to do was maybe look at doing a bit more development of the car over the course of the year.
Yeah.
But because he went out there and got the class wins, and he had a good crack, obviously you have at Mondello, and decided to come back. And now he's getting good crack as well, because he's working his way through the field. So I know he doesn't want to be that far back, but it's great for a racer, isn't it, to be able to come through some traffic.
Fantastic for a racer. I'm just seeing some green flags in the background there, so whether that's just the resumption of the first lap. But Andy Robinson has a clear lead on that first lap from Paul Neville, leading B-plus honours, chased by David Guthrie and Ben Parnell on the first of those Sonny Howard built RSRs. Here comes Dave Cockhill down the inside of Ben Parnell and trying to get hold of Dave Guthrie to take 3rd place honours overall. He wants that win, Dave Cockhill. I'll tell you what, Richard, I wouldn't put it past him to grab it off of Andy Robinson before this race is done. We've
seen him do that quite a few times, and one of the things again that strikes you when we've just seen the Audi TTs, one make championship, very unusual to see a retirement, particularly the likes of Jordan Stilt, but here a lot of these cars are developed within and that swing of failure, aren't they?
Yeah.
You take them as far as they can, and that means they can go pop.
Unfortunately, talking of failures, it does look like one of the RSRs has dropped off. That's Ben Parnell, who saw going slow. Just down the backstraight of Ford Tower. Not looking healthy, that RSR.
Now, Ben's running in SB, which is, the S could be supercar or space frame, so basically it could look like a Ford. You can run a space frame one. And as you mentioned, one of the Sonny Howard cars that's built, but that's got a slightly less powerful engine because he's in SB.
Yes, he will have a lower capacity engine into it. Super A is for your more four-wheel drives and your more extreme turbo engines. So an SB, you can have something like a 1.6 litre eco boost or a smaller naturally aspirated in a silhouette. But what it does, it allows things like silhouettes that are built within the Ford spirit, so they look like the production model they're trying to encapsulate, like the RSRs do, and they can come and race with the modified Fords.
I think the RSRs have got there's a big Sonny Howard day, isn't there, coming up at Liddon Hill weekend after next? You're rolling your eyes at me.
It does look like it as well, that they're potentially opening up their own grid, but we'll see. We'll see how that goes with the...
But you'll be able to use the car for either.
Absolutely, yes.
I don't think Sonny's going to be running a series or anything like that, but I know he's got a one-off event coming up to celebrate all things Eurocar and all that kind of stuff that Sonny did. But always great to see those RSRs out there.
Now, let's keep a look on Dave Cockhill. Where's he got to now?
Second.
He's in second place. He's past Paul Neville and he's got the eyes on now. He is hunting down Andy Robinson in that Falcon. And a big shout out to Dave Guthrie as well. Not only is he running in 4th place overall, he announced during the week he's expecting twins. So good luck to Dave.
He is, or his wife?
Oh, his wife.
Oh, right, okay. Let's just get that sorted out, just in case. You never know these days, to be perfectly honest.
Yes, so he's expecting new members of the race team, shall we say. So congratulations to David, and he's out racing this weekend. That's such a shame. Ben Parnell comes into the pit lane indicator on. So
great looking car. If you're on the banks and you're near, but go and have a look at some of these cars because they are absolutely mint condition. And so too is what will be, I think, a battle for the lead. It's trying to play catch up at the moment. 10 minutes left. It's well, the progress we've seen from Dave Cockle so far has been brilliant. Is he going to be out? What do you reckon? He's faster than. He's got the fastest lap. So the two SA class cars, 1 and 2, the gap was, well, it was 6 seconds on the last lap. Very clearly it isn't that now. What's he going to come down to? Cockle across the line, another 2 seconds out of it. 4.4.
4.4. 10 minutes left. I think he might just be able to do it, Richard. We saw what he was capable of at Silverstone last year, and I really would not put it past him.
And he wants to develop the car more. This is the thing when I have the conversation with him. Oh yeah, I want to get a bit more out of it. And you don't have to do that in modified Fords. If you've got people with racing Fords, come and talk to Paul Neville, who's in the paddock, and talk to any of the drivers about getting involved if you want to do that. You don't have to commit to loads of events. You can do a one-off and see how you like it. Chances are if you do one, you'll probably come back for more, to be perfectly honest. But the point is you don't have to develop. It's not about doing that. It's about enjoying your track time.
You really can, and you can get something as basic as a Fiesta ST 150 Cup car, which you can pick up for £4,000-5,000, and you can join the grid in Class B and be reasonably competitive, because different cars will turn up at different race meetings. You're always going to be in the mix. You're always going to be battling with someone. So it is really, a lot of people would say it's not very cost effective. Well, I would say potentially it's an entry-level entrance into motorsport, and if you've got something a bit special, you can come and race it as well. And we give a bit of racing room. We race hard, but we race fair in the modified Fords.
And I think hopefully we'll see racing fair in a few minutes. Now, where is the challenge going to come? Remember the gap on the last lap, 4.42 seconds. Again, it's coming down. And Dave Cockle, if it comes down to 2, we could be battling at the end of the next lap. Across the line goes the supercar. Across the line goes Dave Cockle. And let's have a look as the timing screen updates. Or does it? No, it doesn't quick enough for me. Signal's dropping a little bit, which is not too good. But the gap is coming down and closing up now as they go through Hawthorn, the race leaders. There is Dave Cockle, the chaser, on screen. 1.7 now we've updated with TSL, so the gap has come down a little bit more. I said maybe by the end of this lap. It's going to be before the end of this lap we get the challenge. They go up towards Tower.
I think so. Look at the gap he's pushed on Andy Robinson down into Tower. Dave Cockle is on it. I think the move is going to come into the final hairpin on the end of this lap. I'm counting on it.
And this is where I, as the commentator, get to start making excuses for the supercar, which is going to be more of a handful.
Definitely, with about 600-700 horsepower under the foot of Andy Robinson. That car is incidentally an ex-Paul wheel car.
No way.
That races in the Dick Johnson colours. He's got several of them. He's got another car, similar AU Spec Falcon, that he brought over from Australia. That's in the Craig Lowndes Green-Eyed Monster colours as well. He really is a purist. He loves these V8 supercars.
Has he let you have a test for your podcast yet?
No, not yet. Here we go.
Yeah, battle on for lead position. What a treat for everyone on the banking seeing that. Dave Cockle going for the absolute racing line on the way into the complex. Taking the wide line here as well. He knows he's catching up and he just wants to get the job completed as quickly as possible. For my money, that was inch perfect here. It accelerates down the straight. They go across the line. They're side by side. And Dave Cockle is going to achieve the inevitable as they go down into Clervaux. And we can hear the clapping from the crowd that he's got the race lead.
Fantastic move from Dave Cockle, and Andy Robinson, I think he can hold his head high as well. He gave everything into defending his lead here, and don't discount him holding on to the back of Dave Cockle and getting the eyes on as well. He's got the headlights on, those bright yellow headlights in that Dick Johnson liveried Falcon to chase Dave Cockle down, but Dave has absolutely sent it up the straight. I would say he's got the boost fully turned up on that Escort Cosworth.
He has. That is running so well, and isn't it great to put the problems of qualifying behind you and get out there and have a race. We could probably have a chance to catch up with some of the other class leaders at the moment. Paul Neville is leading a B+, I only said A+, but class B+. Then we have Kevin White leading his class as well. Stefan Marsh is the next class leader. Managed to grab a quick chat with Steph on camera. Hopefully we'll get a chance to see that in one of our breaks a little bit later on. But Steph is there in 8th place, leading Class A.
And doing very well, considering the fact he has never raced at Croft before. And
he was saying that, yeah.
Yeah, and his compadre Nick, it's his birthday today, so unfortunately he's not up here upholding the Club Racing UK honours. He's hiking on a mountain somewhere. Why would you want to do that and not come to a beautiful race day at Croft? But
well, you always say about mountains, you do it because they're there, and you can.
Yeah, exactly. But Steph trying to hold on to the back of the beautiful orange Escort Cosworth. Let's have a check-in on the lead for Dave Cockle. Comes across the line.
The other class leader, if I can just drop in there, is Steve Primmett, who looks like he's on his way to another Class C win. He's only got Dave Barrett for company, but I say only. Dave Barrett's been a prolific driver in this series as well and taking class wins too.
A prolific winner, and I would say one of the most successful class winners in Class C with that car. Say for Alex Bone when he was running his car in Class C Spec Machinery. So Steve Primmett has been an absolute joy to watch race that beautiful historic Mark 1 Escort this year, and he pedals it well, doesn't he? So as we have a look back on screen at this battle pack that's forming here, so you've got potentially 3 different classes with Stefan Marsh in Class A, you've got the orange Escort Cosworth, and you've got Ian Blackley that is holding up Class B honours at the moment. He's in 3rd place in Class B+, but he is absolutely giving it to that Escort Cosworth that's belching smoke.
I love that. It was such a great shot. Absolutely brilliant.
And Stefan Marsh in the background in his front-wheel drive Focus ST saying, come on boys, I want to play too.
Yeah, Stefan was telling me the story about the guy he bought it from. He didn't tell him he was going to use it for racing. More of that one in the interview when we catch up with him later.
I think so. So if you are watching this telecast and you fancy hearing from Steph Marsh, make sure you listen to him later on. But he's certainly having a good go at Ian Blackley at the moment. He must know the cameras are on him.
Funny enough, these are the 2 guys we picked a couple of drivers to interview in the morning for the session later on. And Ian Blackley was the other one who's come down from Scotland. And I'd forgotten that I'd commentated on Ian in the Fiestas in Scotland when I used to do the SMRC commentary as well. And he did very well in that. I think he said he was 4th for the first season he did. That was a fair old championship. But he just loves all things Ford. And you get people that have Ford cars and the Ford mark running through their veins.
Absolutely, and that's most of the grid here this weekend, and some beautiful cars out there, and they drive them and they race them hard. Now there's more smoke belching from that Escort Cosworth as it comes around the corners, and Stefan is on it. He's dispatched of Ian Blackley. They've gone into the hairpin, onto the exit. He's hopefully going to get a better exit, and he is going to go after that Escort Cosworth. Stefan is on a mission.
Go on, fella, let's have a race. I'm not picking favourites here. We just want to see a dice, don't we? That's what we want to see as they go down. What a treat for everyone here at Croft to see the multi. We've got another multi-class race coming up a little bit later on, of course, with the Super Sport Endurance Cup, which we're looking forward to. Now, what's Steph's best chance going to be?
I think it's going to be, he will hold on to the back of him through the chicane. He's going to go down the back straight and towards Tower, and I think he's going to get it hard on the brakes down the inside. He's got massive brakes on the front of that Focus, but the Escort pulls a bit of a gap on him, so he doesn't quite have the road to try it down the inside. So it's going to have to be through Sunny Inn. He's got to set it up somewhere. So I'm going to say he'll set it up through here and try for Sunny Inn. I'm going to be completely wrong.
Well, he might not do this though. He might do it a little bit later on. But this is like the pattern of these two of kind of resuming the battle they had from qualifying yesterday. Because Steph was chasing his time yesterday, now he's chasing it for real.
Now he really is chasing it for real, and the smoke's still belching from that Escort Cosworth. I'm kind of wondering if the turbo's got an issue on it, or it's not picking up the power in some places, but Stefan nearly into the rear seats of that Escort Cosworth as they went through Sunny in and through Sunny out their cars.
We did have to get Stefan to tidy up the awning though, and you probably know why. I say no more.
If you have a look at Club Racing UK socials, you may find out. But yes, that was quite amusing when I first saw that appear on Friday, I must say. But he's still keeping on going. He's on the back. He's not going to give up the fight here, is Stefan. Scott Tolan is holding him off, but how long can he hold him off for? And now we've got traffic coming into the occasion as well. Can Steph use this to his advantage?
Nice driving by the car. That's Leslie Chapelhow, is it, in the Mark 6 Fiesta? Yeah, good driving. He's enjoying his race.
With the familiar tiger stripes on it, you'll see adorned to many Ford race cars.
Yep. How are we doing on the time? Well, we've got a minute to go, so where are the race leaders? Trying to clock whether we're on the last lap or not, or whether we are going to get another. I think we might squeeze another one out of this, because Dave Cockle's heading up towards Sunny at the moment, so he's going to cross the line before the clock ticks down. So this is the penultimate lap of the race.
And you know he's only pulled a 4.5 second gap to Andy Robinson. So Andy Robinson has kept him honest. Third place overall is Paul Neville and leading Class B+. White in fourth place in the B class car. Once again, I think TSL has let us down in the qualifying times there, so that is a Class B Ford Fiesta ST150. David Guthrie in fifth place in his EcoBoost powered car. Scott Tolan in the orange Escort, you can see on screen there, and Stefan Marsh hotly pursuing him in the Class A car on the way to a win. And Ian Blackley in the Ford Puma just hiding in the background to round out our top 8.
Yeah, with the gap, as you say, 4.5 seconds, I'm wondering whether there's an element of Dave just sort of backing off, and you don't want to be a car breaker in race 1, you want to enjoy race 2.
There's a race to come later on. There's quite a short turnaround, and he's going to be conserving the temperatures. The one thing we haven't mentioned so far today is the heat. A lot of these higher turbo-powered cars will be looking at the charge temperatures. They'll be looking at the coolant and oil temperatures and just managing it as best as they can. And the worst thing you want to do is follow another car nice and closely like Stefan Marsh is on the back of Scott Tolan. I think he's doing Morse code on the back of the bumper.
Yeah, still having a good battle, those two. And that is for 6th, 7th position on track as Dave Cockle carries on his last tour. Again, a little puff of brake smoke out of Scott Tolan's car as he comes down into the complex once again. And Steph not quite close enough, and you can see...
He's nearly close enough. I think he locked a bit of a break there, did Steph?
Got one more lap to have a go. Ian Blackley watching that. He's actually having a go now. Comes offline, pokes his nose to the outside. He realises that's going to be the wrong side of the track to go in. He's going to make a move, dive down the inside at Clervaux. Can't quite do that, but he's certainly worrying him, isn't he? He's there, and if a driver knows you there, that's half the problem. Meanwhile, about 2/3 of a lap ahead, coming round the hairpin for the last time, it is Dave Cockle. You said he was going to be the one to watch you. We're right.
He's a champion, absolute champion's drive from Dave Cockle. Our hats off to you, sir, as Dave Cockle crosses the line and takes the first race of the modified Fords this weekend. But don't take any credit off of Andy Robinson. He's driven a superb race as well. He just couldn't quite hold off Dave Cockle in the end. He takes second. And Paul Neville, I think, when he comes round eventually, is going to round out our top 3, albeit such dominance are these cars. I think there is about a 30-second gap the last time we checked to Paul Neville as he comes round into the complex. A brilliant multi-class race, a good old-fashioned classic modified Ford race. That fantastic.
I think the podium will be top 3. We're not going to have a chance to go through. Actually, we might have a chance to go through a few more drivers. So I'm not sure if John can pick up what we're saying, but he's got the opportunity because we're going into the PBS Brakes Supersport Endurance Cup qualifying, which we're not going to cover because it's not a race per se. We're going to cover their race a little bit later on. It might give us a chance to talk to a few more people in the winner's circle, as it were. So, John, if you're listening, take as much time as you'd like to chat to some of the drivers and find out a little bit more about the machinery.
Now let's check across the line as Scott Tolan just holds off Stefan Marsh as well. That was a fantastic race there, boys. Yes, Richard, it would be great stories up and down the grid, especially. It'd be good to hear from Scott and from Stefan, because I think Scott will be a lot more sweaty and hot than Stefan is, that's for sure, having to hold him off.
Here's the result. Dave Cockle takes the win from Andy Robinson and Paul Neville. Kevin White in 4th from Dave Guthrie. Scott Tolan just getting the better of Stefan Marsh from Ian Blackley. Chris Harrison is in 9th from Lucas Dryden. Steve Primmett is next up, and following Steve Primmett, it was the, losing it on the screen, it was the 84 car next up. That is Alistair McMillan. Following them, it was Dave Barrett. Following Dave in the 49 car, Piers Warwick. And then the 362 car, Leslie Chapelhow, we saw him being passed earlier on. A couple of incidents there, very sadly during the race. Mechanical failure for Ben Purnell and also James Allen, who didn't make it off the start. But we've got more action from the Modified Ford Series a little bit later on, so looking forward to it. Yeah, always good fun, isn't it? So thanks very much, mate, for joining us there. I'm hoping we'll get the correct tee for John down in Parc Fermé as soon as the cars make it round. And again, and I guess the plot that I lost on the first one is it's a long slowing down lap. Snetterton always catches me out because the drivers go around halfway, don't they, and then come back in. So you think they're going to do a full 3 miles and then they don't. They actually come back in quite quickly. That's why I was rattling through the result. Dave Cockle looks pretty cool actually in the car. He doesn't look like he's been in a workout at all, does he?
I don't think he does, but it's been a brilliant multi-class race. I thoroughly enjoyed doing that with you, Richard, and I'm looking forward to coming back a bit later for a bit more of the same.
Before we get to John, quick question. If I wrote you a check out and said you can have any one of the cars on this grid today, which one would you have?
You know exactly what one I would have. It was the one that finished it. It would be the Falcon every day on the week.
They say there's no such thing as a silly question, but that was, wasn't it? All right, apart from that one.
Apart from that one, you would have to settle for that beautiful Dave Cockle Escort Cosworth. That has got pedigree, that has raced on the British circuits for 20 plus years, and Dave pedals it so well. He is a brilliant driver, as we saw last year at Silverstone, as we have seen in race 1 here today. Let's see if any more surprises can spring up later on in the day. Can James Allen do the same in race 2 if they get that car repaired and back out, go from the back to the front?
The one thing we know is that if necessary, all the other teams are going to pitch in and try and get that sorted out. Well, the news
100%.
is that we have got... Thanks again, mate. The good news is we've got John down in pit lane, or victory lane, so he'll have a chat with their winners. Down to John Ratcliffe.
Hello, yes, welcome back. The sun has really come out now. It is getting rather warm down here. It was pretty warm out there on circuit as well. Like was mentioned multiple times on the comms, a multi-class race in that one. You never know really where to look in multi-class, do you? There's so much happening across the fields. So which one do we focus on? Well, let's focus on some of the top drivers from that one to begin with. We'll talk to your race winner, the number 95. Dave, what a race. You started on a P10 in that one, all the way through to victory. You were flying out there.
Yeah, well, brilliant race. Rescued yesterday's disaster.
Well, you got the 95 Lightning McQueen on the side of the car, so you were really channeling your inner Lightning. We'll call everyone else Thunder, because Thunder always comes after Lightning, right?
Yeah, that's right. I used to race in Classic Thunder, so it's quite ironic. Yeah.
Awesome. I mean, like I say, you were a few seconds back from the race leader at the time, chased him down, and it just seemed inevitable. The pace on your car was just rapid.
I was trying my best, yeah.
So really well done.
I expected to get to third. I don't know what happened to James. Did he go off?
I think he was out before the race started.
Yeah. I thought he'd left Port Ferme, but yeah, assembly area. But
yeah, no, I think he then pulled into the pitch just before you guys went for the green flag. So a shame, but hopefully he's back later.
Hope so.
Oh, cool. Yeah, same again later.
Yeah, big shout out to the modified Fords though. Great bunch of lads.
Yeah.
And I've got to apologise to one of the Blue Fiestas. I had a little love tap with him, so I'm going to go and find him now and make peace.
Just a little loving kiss, I'm sure.
Only a loving kiss. Yeah.
All right, well done. Victory.
Thank you.
Cheers, well done. Right then, let's continue on. The number 18 we're looking for next. I think, I can't even see the 18. We'll head on round to the 33, Paul Neville, who was in third place. Now, my issue here is this is the first race of the weekend here in the modified Ford, so I don't actually know what anyone looks like. We'll see if we can find Paul. Excuse me, chaps, are either of you Paul?
Yes. Sorry.
Hello, Paul. Sorry, I've not met any of you yet, so I'm just trying to work out who's who. It's a good race through there, third place.
Yeah, it was a bit lonely. It's a bit lonely, but I just kept pushing because, you know, anything can happen and you can soon be snuck up on, can't you? So I just kept it there.
You can. I mean, it's awesome to watch. All the different cars out there. There's racing up and down the pack. It looked pretty fun. Sadly, like you said, though, you're a bit out on your own, that one.
Yeah, normally we have sort of pretty packed grids. I don't know whether it's being up in the northeast, but, you know, there's always another time where we fill the grids up.
Exactly. Well, the sunshine certainly arrived now. I imagine it was quite warm out there.
It was very warm out there. I'll be soon glad to get out of these, that's for sure.
Of course, get the ring down, ready for the race later.
Yeah, indeed.
My only last question was for you. Out the final corner, you seem to really be struggling to get the power down, really slidey out there. What was that due to?
I don't know whether it's a setup, but it just seems to be lifting wheels and it just keeps throwing the car around, so I'll just take it really slow. So, yeah.
Still came home on the podium?
Yeah, indeed. It's nice to be up there.
Nice. Well done. Just chatting with me. Thank you. Do you happen to know where our second place finisher is? Again, I don't know what he looks like. So it was, Andy Robinson.
Yeah, go ahead there. Probably somebody relaxed.
By the gate, by the fence.
Yeah, the one he's sitting in the car.
Oh, he's sitting in the car. Well, that's much easier. Thank you very much. Let's go and have a chat with him then. The 18. What a beautiful livery. Sorry, sir. I'm going to just dive in and have a little chat. With Andy.
Hi there.
Hello, Andy.
Yeah.
You're looking a bit tired after that one. It looked like a tough race.
Well, it's just a bit hot, that's all, isn't it? So I've got a bit of a sore back, so I'm just sitting in here. So I'm quite comfortable here now. So
fair enough.
I knew Dave would come through. I can't believe how quick he come through the field and past us. So there you go.
It was ridiculous. You had a huge gap. I think after lap one, it was like 4 or 5 seconds, and he just chased you down. It was amazing.
Yeah, by the time I saw him coming, it was too late. There was nothing I could do. Yeah, he's got one quick car there. Very well done to him.
Well, your car is an amazing-looking machine, very fast out there as well. Yeah. Can you talk us through what it's like to drive one of these things?
It's an acquired taste. You can't just jump in and drive one. It takes a bit of getting used to. I've had this 16 years now, so yeah, I've driven it quite a bit. I've got another one as well, in a similar car from the same place. So,
is there any reason why you raced this one and not that one? This one any faster?
This one's got a better engine in it, but the other one I raced that loads, so I raced them both loads over the last 15 years. So yeah, and yes, this car's raced at Bathurst before. Yeah. So
no, awesome. Of course, one race still left to go. Think there's still a potential for the win in that one?
It's going to be second place on something there, unless something bad happens to Dave, I'm afraid. So, but I'll do my best. Okay. I'm not going to roll over, but you know, his car's just amazing. So there you go.
You were fantastic as well, mate. Well done, second place.
Yes, thanks a lot. Yes.
Cheers. Thank you. Right then, of course, we've got a qualifying session out at the moment, and my struggle is I don't know what any of the drivers look like. Of course, we've got 6 different classes here in the modified Ford, so a bit of a challenging one. Hopefully, back for race 2, we'll chat to a few more of them. Out at the moment, though, is a qualifying course for our one endurance race here on the Sunday. I'll hand it back up to the commentary box. Oh, of course, I'm hearing through my ear. Not back to the commentary box, over to some interviews, sorry.
I'm with Paul Savage. Paul, we haven't caught up since your Masters class win last year at Silverstone, so how's things been going since then?
I think it's been an interesting year. I've definitely improved my driving, but been a few incidents this year, maybe some of it my fault, but also a bit of close racing. Really enjoying it still, though. It's a really competitive environment, and the car's going really well this weekend, so looking forward to race 2 and race 3 this afternoon.
We're getting that vague, a few incidents. Talk us through maybe one specific, what went wrong? Was it someone else's fault? Was it yours? And how's it dealt with?
Yeah, no, I got a little bit excited. I'm still learning how to drive, and you know, I think when you're pushing these cars and you're trying to find those extra seconds, you just sometimes touch your back wheel on the grass and then it sends you off. But it's learning, and it's something that when you're racing, these things happen. I'm trying to push the envelope, so yeah, it's really, really enjoyable, but I wish I was a bit more careful at times.
The Audi TT Cup, you're obviously saying that you're a newcomer to racing. There are some serious names in here, and you know, how daunting does that make this as a learning experience?
Yeah, I think when I first came into it, I was about 15 seconds a lap off the front runners. It was really bad. But as I've been racing with these guys, I've really started to improve, because I know that to have a race, I've got to keep up with them. So it really motivates you to go faster. But sometimes, you know, it can be a bit lonely at the back. But this year, I'm as close as I've ever been. So yeah, I'm really enjoying it.
And thoughts of, you know, you're going to carry on with it and see where it takes you?
Yeah, I love the car. You can't beat these TTs. It's and the Paddock this year, whilst it's maybe a little bit smaller, it is really nice, and you know, it's a welcoming environment. I think the key thing for racing next year is to get more sponsors, and that's always something. And big thanks to ParkSafe Group for sponsoring me this year.
What's their background? What are they in?
So they're a vehicle manufacturer looking at putting cameras and safety systems. Fantastic company. You know, they do a lot of work. It's surprising how many people actually use their equipment. They're both commercial and domestic. So yeah, really helpful for me this year, and they've really got behind me on social media as well. So I really appreciate that.
Well, we appreciate them helping to get you on the grid with us here at the BRSCC in the TT Cup. It is a great little paddock, and I notice you've got awnings close. Are you working with, you've got Sam Meagher next door? Do you all kind of work together over the weekend?
Yeah, I've been racing with the 4G racing team now for ever since I started in C1s. So we do share conversations. Ross McCarr gives me the tips. He's given me a few tips for this weekend. But yeah, Adam from the TT Centre keeps my car in top condition. The 4G guys give me a bit of racing coaching as well. So, but that's what I mean about it being a really welcoming paddock. Yeah. Everybody wants you to be on the grid, and that's really nice.
C1s are a good entry as well, aren't they? And again, part of sort of almost a BRSCC ladder, isn't it? You can come in and race City Car Cup or the C1 Endurance and then move up and onwards into other things.
Yeah, I did the City Car Cup for 3 seasons, and it was the best entry into racing ever. And the BRSCC did a fantastic job bringing that championship into life. I really enjoyed it. I'm a graduate of that now, and I still watch it live stream. I've got a lot of people who are driving there. My friend Andrew Dyer with the student motorsport team. It's a great job driving at the moment. But yeah, it's a really great entry. If you want to join and come racing, that's the championship.
And thoughts on Croft? How many races have you done here?
Oh, I've been here since the start of my season. I love the history of Croft. I love the circuit. It's technical. It's exciting. You know, it's great for the spectators, but also it's fast. You know, going down the Jim Clark S's. You know, you've got to be brave. And when it's wet, Yeah, it's a slippy place, but yeah, no, I love it here. And it's such a nice environment as well. But yeah, a lot of the tracks that we go to, you know, we've got Silverstone coming up, and it's the history, and you're racing on tracks where your heroes have been, you know, and I love that emotional side of it as well. It's not just about the car; it's about the history, the environment, and keeping businesses like Croft and all these race circuits going.
So that win for you at Silverstone, which was the point we came in on the interview, that must have been very, very special for you.
It was one of the most special points in my racing career. So yeah, it was really special. I didn't anticipate it, I didn't know, and it just made it all the more special when I came through.
That's great. Thanks for chatting to us, Paul. Good luck this weekend. Thank you. Cheers, mate. Thank you. Thanks for that. Nice. Fantastic to welcome the Modified Ford Series to our meeting here at Croft. Lovely to catch up with Ian Blackley, the driver of this car. Ian, viewers won't know too much about it, so tell us as much as you can. Actually, about the car, and then we'll get on to yourself.
Okay. Well, the car itself is it's a Ford Puma 1.7. I've turbocharged it. So Mark Hadfield, he built the bottom end of the engine. I've done the top end. So yeah, it's running about 240 brake horsepower. That's at the flywheel, 200 at the wheels. It's got a gripper dip in it, decent brakes, just gas suspension. So it's good. It goes pretty well for what it is effectively. Yep.
This is one of the things about Modified Fords is we've got sort of engineers that get involved. You say you turbocharge this yourself, so you've got probably more than some formulae that we see on the circuit. It's a real involvement and investment in the car yourself.
Absolutely, yeah, that's it. I've got my own garage myself, but this is just something that was a project that I wanted to do, and it's totally different to, I mean, some people do turbo these, but I top mounted mine because I knew it was going to be a race car. You wanted the turbo up at the top where you kind of wanted to be able to work on it, so it's a bit different, so it's totally unique. Bespoke parts, I suppose, if you like, as well. So yeah, it's good, but it's good fun to drive as well. It's really good. So
that's good. Yeah. Seemed to qualify well yesterday, which is good. Tell us a bit about yourself. What's your history in sport, and maybe before you came into motor racing?
Well, I mean, I've not done that much, to be quite honest with you. I stopped smoking years ago. I actually bought a Puma, a road car. Okay. I'd done a track day, and then it kind of evolved from there. So my first racing really was I joined the Fiesta ST Championship at Knockhill, the 150s. Done that for a year, came fourth in the championship. I then jumped back into the Puma because that's where I always wanted to kind of race that. It wasn't a race car at that point, it was just a track car. So then put the fire extinguisher in it, roll cage, got it kind of ready to race, and then I done the modified, the Mod Sports Championship up in Knockhill. So I've done that for 2 years, finished third in class last year, and then we decided to come and join the Modified Fords. It's a great grid, obviously, the guys are all really friendly, it's really good. So yeah, we're just doing all the different tracks. So now we're just trying to do all the tracks in Britain, hopefully, with these guys, and it's been great. The racing's brilliant as well, so really close racing.
Knockhill racing's good. I had the pleasure of commentating on the STs for quite a few. You might have been in some of the races that I commentated on back in the year as well. And that, of course, goes back to the old XR2 Championship, which is a real good roots and continuation. Yeah. And you have that continuation with the Blue Oval with Ford. What is it about the Ford brand that draws you in?
I don't know. My dad was a Ford man, really, so it kind of rubbed off on us. I've had Mark II Escorts, Capris. My brother drives a Capri. We're just Ford fans, really, eh? So that's it. So I had to be a Ford. That's why I'd done the Fiesta Championship, because I wanted to initially do something that it's the same car as everybody else to check my own driving to see whether I can do this or not, and loved it, and that's it. So never stopped since. So yeah, that's it.
Going back to the Capri, a proper one, not the new one.
No, Derek's got a proper Capri. Yes, that's it. Yeah, it's a Mark II Capri, and he's got an ST 170 engine in it as well. Yes, that's a bit different as well. So it's good, nice car. Yeah.
Love the livery as well. Did you come up with the idea? So I love the rivets, and it looks absolutely mint.
Yeah, that's it. I've done this myself. Just like I say, it was a road car first, so I call it the Rusty Racer, just because it's not mint. I mean, you see some race cars, this was a ride for a road car, so it has been welded a few times. But it's just a great thing, and it's just something different. Advertising my business, and I've got a few sponsors that come on board with us as well. So we've got AC Gold, and so it's just good fun, all in all.
Croft not too bad for you. Sometimes Croft tends to, we get a few Scottish drivers and marshals coming down and helping us out. Thanks to the marshals, by the way, for their bits and bobs. Are you back to work tomorrow morning?
Yes, back to work. As soon as we leave here, that's at home, and then working tomorrow morning. Yeah, that's it. Back to the garage, indeed.
Right. Well, I hope you stay safe. Enjoy the racing, and thanks for the chat, mate. Appreciate that. Thank you.
Good goal.
So let's pick up on our second interview with the Modified Ford Series, Stefan Marsh, and another driver, I think, your first visit here.
Yeah, it's the first visit here. I've never driven around here before, so it's definitely. I mean, when you watch the touring cars and stuff, it makes the track look really long and big, and then suddenly we're going around. It's actually quite short, tight, and you have to be pretty committed. So yeah, it's a bit of a learning experience, definitely.
All the youngsters today got sim it beforehand. Have you got a sim rig, and did you learn it that way, or literally is it watching things like touring car coverage?
Yeah, I watch the touring car coverage. Obviously, YouTube. Watch a couple of cars just to get some sort of lap experience from a driver's perspective. But no, I didn't fire up the sim or nothing like that. So just come here and just give it a go and see what happens.
You're, I'd say regular. I think we say regular class winner in the series, and you've had A-class win. Was that Alton Park class win?
Yeah, that was at Alton Park. We're regularly on the podium. Luckily, with my car, I haven't gone super crazy, and obviously in the modified Fords you can go absolutely mental with modifications and power and all the rest of it, but I've kept it relatively low key, if you like, which has given me more reliability rather than going for the big power. So we generally finish every race, which gives us the sort of the podiums and the class wins, where the big boys obviously make them a bit more temperamental, but they're very, very fast. So that's how we would get our wins anyway.
There are a lot of self-built and self-prepared cars here. Is that the case with yours?
Yeah, definitely. So I bought the car a couple of years ago for a guy that absolutely cherished it, lived in a garage. So when I was purchasing it, I did not mention what I was doing to it, and said, yeah, I'll definitely look after it. But 2 weeks later, we were gutting the interior out and welding a roll cage. So yeah, I've never had another phone call from him. So I don't think he'd be too proud of me right now. But yeah, it's home built it from the ground up, from at home, and it's one of those things with the modified Fords, you can do so much to them, so it's just a progressive modification and building and just slowly making it better and better and getting more weight out and adding bits and bobs to make it go faster, so it's good fun.
You cherish the car in a different way to the original owner.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. I cherish it to go speed and go fast around circuits, where he kept it in the garage and polished it a lot. I mean, I do keep it as clean as we can, but unfortunately when we're racing, the gravel traps and stones flicking up here and there, it's a bit hard to keep it as pristine as he kept it, but we do our best because it's got to look nice at the end of the day. The Mod Fords is a great grid with some spectacular cars that look lovely, so yeah, we try to maintain that as best we can.
Development's an interesting thing. A lot of the drivers we talk to will say, yeah, we develop over the winter or during the season, but there's actually nothing wrong with having the equipment you've got and staying still. I'm guessing that's not where you want to be.
No, so we try. I mean, over the winter we managed to get another 85 kilo out the car, so we're always trying to progress it. It's just that the next step, I've maxed out with my turbo how much power I can make, so I'd have to go up to the next one, which would then mean spending a lot of money on the engine, so I'm a bit reluctant to do that in a minute, and then we go into reliability issues. So it's still progressing in suspension setup and taking more weight out and stuff like that, so we're always doing it throughout the year, but again, it all comes down to cost and things like that. At the end of the day, we want to go racing, have fun, just get out on circuit, so it's not always about where we're finishing, it's just enjoying it, being with your mates at the track and just having some fun, so that's how we go.
I actually remembered that we had the Sting then coming into it, because it's been so long since I've worked on an event with Alpha Live. I've suddenly remembered, one race before the end of the day. So apologies to everyone at Alpha for being a little bit rusty on those. But we've got Rob Lewis back with us. First of all, Rob, did you play the trump cards yet?
I haven't played the trump cards yet. I've had a good look at them, and no, but for people listening at home, Richard John Neal's famous trump cards, his racing cards, I've got a set at home. I think you need to do another round of those. And
all for charity, mate. We do for charity.
No, 100% all for charity. I think we've got a grid for this Modified Ford Series, so let's take a look.
I think you're right. Dave Cocker starts on front.
He doesn't. He is out.
He's out.
More to come.
We'll come to that. Andy Robinson then front row. Paul Neville and Kevin White on row 2. Dave Guthrie and Scott Tolland, who will resume battle with Stefan Marsh, who lines up 7th on the grid. Ian Blackley will be trying to get in amongst them as well in the Treble 3 Puma, completing our top 16. Chris Harrison in his RSR next up. Lucas Dryden, Steve Primmett in that lovely classic Mark 1 Escort ahead of Alistair McMillan. Dave Barrett in his Fiesta Mark 5. Piers Warwick in the next up of the Mark 1s. Leslie Chapelhow in his Ford Fiesta Mark 6. Ben Purnell hopefully sorted out with his RSR. Nod from Rob.
He's out there.
He's out. That's good news. He's 16th on the grid. And James Allen?
James Allen is sorted out. Now, some news from race 1. Dave Cocker is out Fourth gear, unfortunately, has lost a tooth on the gearbox, and he cannot afford for it to detonate the rest of the gearbox. So Dave Cockhill is out of this race.
So he wasn't hedging at the end of the race, thinking, yeah, I got in the lead, that's what the issue was.
I think that was him starting to feel the gearbox go. So unfortunately, gearbox issues for Dave Cockhill. And at the back of the grid, we've got another one to look for coming from the back to the front, because James Allen had some line lock issues in race one. Unfortunately, it's one of those, he put his hands up, admitted to it, I made a complete error. He left the line lock on, being rushed coming out of assembly, and unfortunately it cooked two tyres and locked the brakes hard on the rear.
Hang on, a driver owning up to something.
Yep. he was absolutely devastated. I really felt for him, because we saw the anguish around the back of the car, but I tell you what he is going to do. The anger he felt, he is going to channel that, and I'm telling you now, it wouldn't surprise me if he goes from the back to the front in this race, Richard. I'm looking forward to this.
It's a big ask, isn't it? Look forward to seeing what he can do. So we've got certainly something to watch there. Going back to the breakage on Dave Cockers, we're not going to be able to talk about Dave too much in this race, but is it, as I said in race one, that there's a lot of development, and some of these cars on the edge mechanically that they're more prone to failure than a one maker where you've got all the standard parts?
The way to think about it, including cars like this on the screen, like the AU Falcon, so that Escort Cosworth of Dave Cockles has got so many highly strung parts, you know, the dog box and they're running so much power. Eventually they will start to develop hours on them, they will start to wear. Now club racers like ourselves in the modified Ford series, we're not like professional teams, so we don't log those hours and everything like that, and we check for failures as much as we can. So it's just a case of we'll run them, we'll check them, we'll service them, but occasionally parts will fail. It looks like that's what's happened on the Dave Cockhill car. And a lot of the cars that are made on, parts that are made on these cars are bespoke. Stuff that's on Paul Neville's car, he's actually fabricated himself. He's a fabricator by trade. So it's always that mixture of running OEM parts on the car to make it go faster, or whether you design and make something yourself, as some people do, or if you have factory-built cars like the AU Falcon back in the day, made by the likes of Dick Johnson Racing and other Ford teams like Ford Performance Racing, all bespoke touring car parts, very hard to get hold of now, but they still run those cars effectively on the beer money as we get underway for the green flag lap.
On the beer money.
Literally on the beer money.
Absolutely amazing. Yeah, green flag. Rolling start, of course, which is another treat that we get here on our event. I can't believe how we've zipped through the course of the weekend. It's the penultimate race of the weekend for us. And is Dave gone, or will he be watching this one?
He's got himself a cold bottle of Peroni, and he is watching from the bank. So Dave, if you are there, it was a mega race in race one. Well done. And it's a shame you're not out there on the grid. And I want to give a shout out as well. Third place currently, as you see it on the screen, that blue Fiesta just ahead of Dave Guthrie. Kevin White drove an absolutely fantastic race. That car on screen there, car number 99, that is a 2-litre naturally aspirated car with a sequential gearbox, and he drives it like he stole it. That was a fantastic, well-driven race. He certainly drives it a lot quicker than some of the more powerful
I always
cars.
take issue with that one, because if you stole a car, if you drive slower, you're less likely to draw attention to yourself. That's a very Alan Partridge comment, I have to say. But do you not agree?
Well, that's one way of doing it. But to be fair with the C1s, right? So, you know, we go to our C1s that are out at next week at SNET. But I was always told you need to drive one of those, like you've literally just got into the car and you're trying to get away up the A12.
Right, but you wouldn't steal a C1, would you, to be honest?
I would rather steal a Sierra Cosworth.
Exactly.
It would be a Cosy over a C1.
And again, just to clarify that, we are not advocating any form of crime.
No.
just to clear that up.
We do not advocate crime on the Alpha Live broadcast. Apologies to anyone listening. And again, before we get started, a big shout out for the sponsors of the Modified Fords this weekend, both with Club Racing UK, DC Automotive Services, and Ian Blackley as well, his automotive company based up in Scotland, and MTS Motorsport have all chipped in to sponsor this round of the Modified Fords as we get ready for race start as they come around the complex now. There we go. So that's Ian Blackley Automotive there in the yellow Puma, one of the sponsors for the round this weekend.
Grateful thanks to anyone who's chipped in. We really do appreciate it. It's great to see these cars. Now, what's Paul Neville going to do? The white Chop Snoop Escort showing quite nicely there on that second row. So he's going to be gunning. Again, lots to talk about, as Rob said, as we look at Stefan Marsh, who's already slotted himself between two cars. He's taken one place up already and made the start. So a cracking start for him, but it's the Ford Falcon, unsurprisingly, it gets away with Paul Neville in second position as they have a good sort out behind.
And Stefan Marsh sideways into the second corner. Unfortunately, there's contact again. Unfortunately, he's had contact with Scott Toland in the Escort Cosworth, who he was battling with in race 1. It looks like he got a loose back end on the Focus with cold tyres, and he looked to take the advantage, but unfortunately it resulted in a bit of contact. They've carried on going as everyone battles line to stern. Now let's have a look out for James Allen. On the first few corners, he's gained 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 or 8 spots. I can tell that he's gained there. Could he get it into second position before the end of lap 1?
That would be a huge ask, wouldn't it, for him? Again, as we've been sort of encouraging our crowds on the banks to watch the cars making their way through the field. And James Allen making good progress there, passes the Puma that you were talking about. So a bit of a shout out for our sponsor, co-sponsor of the meeting. James Allen on his way, but the Falcon already, Andy Robinson already at the complex with Paul Neville in pursuit. Definitely not that far back, is he, James Allen?
No, he is not. He is already dispatched of another sponsor of the round in Stefan Marsh in the Club Racing UK back Focus, and he is already on the back of the Escort Cosworth as they go into the hairpin. I have a feeling he's going to try and make a move on the back straight here now, although the car doesn't have the same massive horsepower as your likes of Dave Cockhill and your Andy Robinson. That car is so highly strung. Effectively, it is built like a touring car. It's a fantastic bit of kit, set up really well, and when James gets the hammer down, he can pedal it. Look at the times coming through. He's at a 140 on that lap, as opposed to Andy Robinson, who got a 131, and he is gapping the rest of the field, trying to get enough space between him because he knows James Allen's coming.
Doing so well. The other thing about this, a lot of these self-engineered cars, and of course it's one thing to be a quick driver, but when you're the engineer of that car as well, there aren't too many classes where you see great engineers stroke builders racing those cars as well, but we do in Modified Field Series.
Absolutely. It almost reminds you of the days of the old school Thunder Saloons, doesn't it? So.
Oh, yeah. Isn't that still sort of being mentioned in... Is there talk? This is effectively it, though, isn't it?
Effectively, yes. There is another Thunder Saloon Championship available on a different package, but no, the Modified Ford Series. So here's Stefan Marsh down the inside of Scott Toland, and he gets the move done into Sunny End. What he couldn't do in race 1, he's managed to do here. Now, the question is, can he hold that position? And has the Cosworth got a problem because he gained a lot of ground there?
He had that clatter earlier on. I was going to ask at the time, Rob, whether that little coming together would have affected them at all.
It could have done, especially if they've clashed wheels. It can knock geometry out. It can damage components. At the moment, he looks like it's going well. Now, keeping up with James Allen, he's dispatched Ben Purnell in the Escort, who had gear shifter problems in race 1, and he is now on the back of David Guthrie, having also dispatched of Kevin White in the Fiesta. So we are on to lap 2. Andy Robinson leading with Paul Neville second, and it looks like James Allen is about to get into the top 3 for the first time.
Stefan's been repassed by Scott Toller. They've really entertained us over the last 2 races, and is that orange or yellow car? It's a bit weird on the screen.
It's a bit weird colour. It's a bit tangerine, isn't it?
Tangerine. That'd be a bit of tango, couldn't you?
Yeah, the tangerine machine, as it looks like outside our window.
Oh, we can see it now. Yeah, it's a proper orange, isn't it?
That man on screen, James Allen, he's already dispatched of David Guthrie now, and the next man up the road is indeed second place man Paul Neville.
Qualified P2. Do you reckon he'll make it all the way to the front? Was there a quicker lap than the Falcon in there?
I think
it was a big gap in qualifying.
It was a big gap in qualifying, but I think if James keeps his head down, channels that anger that he had from race 1, he can do this. But Andy Robinson is no slouch in the Falcon as he makes his way through the complex. And that man on screen there is still holding his own, Kevin White, as he goes down the inside of David Guthrie there. Now, has David Guthrie got a boost issue again? In race 1, he had a temperature-related boost issue where, unfortunately, the hotter the coolant gets, it drops the boost off, and it looks like that could potentially have happened to David this time around as they come out of the hairpin. That's Dave Barrett off the road.
Oh, that's a shame for Dave.
Oh, it's a shame for Dave. He comes all the way up here. He shows the enthusiasm. He loves his motor racing, and unfortunately, it looks like he is off the road at turn 2.
So, do we know? Does that mean your trump card's better than his this year?
Pass.
How many DNFs you had?
2.
Oh, right, okay.
Less said about that, the better. back on screen, we've still got this battle raging between Scott Tollan and Stefan Marsh. Stefan's still got his eyes full of Tangerine.
Second place battle about to happen with Paul Neville just exiting tower for our director, being closed in on by James Allen. So P2 about to be challenged for and possibly got closing up now.
Here we go.
Those two. Here we go into Sonny. The fascinating thing for me here is the ages of the... Oh, and a lock up from Paul Neville, leaves the door open. Can't quite see it in this shot, but when they were coming towards us, how cars have got bigger. Because I was just thinking the Escort
Yes.
is quite a bigger car, and the Focus is, for me, the equivalent of the Escort these days. But it's that much bigger.
It is a very wide track car. A very wide track car, that Focus, and you kind of get the size difference there. I mean, wasn't the Escort seen as a family car back in the day? As Paul Neville works it down the inside, has James Allen got a problem?
I hope not.
Has James Allen got a problem? He pulled away at that point.
No,
It's cutting out.
That's
no.
a shame.
James Allen enters the pit lane. Unfortunately, he's got more problems. That's devastating. Absolutely devastating for him. It looked like it lost power there while he was fighting with Paul Neville. That is gutting for James Allen and his team.
Now I'm wondering,
it's reset itself, so he's going back out.
Yeah, now there's two things you can do there, isn't there? One is go back through Park Firming, go back to Paddock, or go back out. But I'm wondering, I think he did the right thing, because if he's not sure, the last thing he wants to do is get stranded and have to do a whole lap or park up.
I'm wondering if he's hit the reset switch on his panel. Something maybe tripped in his car and said, I don't like this, and it's put the fail-safe in. He's managed to put a reset on it, and he is right behind Stefan Marsh and the Tangerine machine of Scott Tollan.
We get to see that battle again.
There we go.
Okay, we wanted to see him try and have a little dice with Paul, which was great that was there, and a super drive from James, and we get to see him do the battling again. So he's closing up on Stefan Marsh. He just likes the TV time, doesn't he? He's making up for it.
I think he does. And what you've got there is two very similar shaped cars. And what you have is a picture of the modified Fords. How far you can modify these cars to suit your budget. So James has put so much time and effort in his car over the years. Stefan does exactly the same. Stefan, you know, they won't mind me saying this, Stefan doesn't quite have the budget to put as much into his car as he can. He does what he can with what he's got. So you've got two contrasting values between two very similar shaped cars, but James Allen's already dispatched of Stefan Marsh, and he's round the outside of Scott Tollan into the complex, and whatever problems he have seems to have potentially reset themselves.
On his best lap, 2 seconds a lap quicker than Paul Neville, so are we going to see him up and scrapping possibly?
I think so.
For second position again. Paul has got a massive lead on him though at the moment.
He has, but you know, that lap time by James Allen, you cannot discount that, a 1:29.0. And our race leader, Mr. Andy Robinson, his best lap time was a 1:28.8. That is rapid.
Great stuff from the modified Fords. We've only got 6 minutes to go after a long journey for many of them. And we appreciate them coming up. But here's our glorious race leader, the Ford Falcon Supercar. As soon as I saw this on the entry, I thought we're in for a treat.
Oh, yes, you're always in for a treat when there's a V8 supercar on the bill. There's a few down at Goodwood this weekend causing some I think Jake Hill's in one going up the hill.
Is he?
He's in a Holden Commodore of sorts, but this is a beautiful car, originally built by Paul Wheel Racing. I believe it raced at Bathurst in 2000, 2001. I could be wrong. That could be the car. I do know it's a Paul Wheel chassis, and Andy brought into the country, I'd like to say 2009.
And that's not an easy thing to do, is it? Import these cars. I mean, you talk about maintaining them and running, but getting them in the first place. Getting
it here and getting the parts in, it is a fabulous car to watch, and it looks like it is a fabulous car to drive. I mean, look at it. How could you not? And Andy's a great guy as well, very, very friendly. So if you're ever in the modified Ford paddock and Andy's out racing with us, he's always happy to show you around this beautiful car on screen. And at the moment, he leads quite handsomely from Paul Neville. Now let's check up on James Allen. And it looks like he hasn't managed to get away from the Cosworth again. He's got the same problem again. Oh, that's gutting.
Seems to be on that part, doesn't he? He's not going to pit again, I don't think, this time.
It's almost like he has to hit a reset switch. Almost like he turns the ignition off and on again to reset everything and gets going.
Right, I'm going to ask you a question. James Allen Interiors, what does he do?
I'd like to say commercial interiors, shop fittings, and everything like that.
Cool.
That's what it looks like. I'll have to ask him properly.
Yeah, I wasn't sure with you. No, apologies for putting you on the spot.
Yeah, we did see Ben Parnell on the screen there, unfortunately, looking like he had some issues. He did start moving again, so I'm wondering if he's had a bit of.
Was that Ben or was that Chris Harrison?
couldn't quite tell because of the screen in front of us, but
Okay, well, one of the two as James Allen carries on.
Is that a bit of bodywork hanging off the back of the... Yeah, looks like there's a bit of bodywork hanging on the back of the Escort going through, so I'm wondering if that is from the tap with Stefan Marsh earlier, or perhaps a new bit of contact, unfortunately.
A bit of orange peel.
Very good, very good. A bit of orange peel on the car there. That's good.
That's about as good as you get. I'm going home now.
I like that, good effort.
Paul Neville, he's well clear. Paul might be able to hang on to second here because, yeah, Stefan, as we said, has had that repeating problem. But done well. I mean, come up into 6th place, so a cracking drive. Do you have a driver of the round or anything that we award on these? Or
I am due to pick one.
Are you?
And
that is always the poison chalice, isn't it?
It is always the poison chalice. I'm going to wait for the results of this race. I've got a couple in mind.
You don't have to do it on air. You can mull it over a little bit later on.
I did think that was going to get a bit... And James Allen's cut out again. Whatever problems he's got, it's around that hairpin. It's almost like he's losing oil pressure or something. He has to reset the ECU and go again.
See, I would not know that. This is why it's great to have you with the technical knowledge.
I'll be honest, I'll get on.
I know,
best guess.
but that's what we need. You know, you need to. What could it be? And
well, it only ever seems to happen around that complex. So I'm wondering if the turn right and then the turn left is moving the oil and then losing pressure somewhere. Something's not happy. He can then reset the ECU, or something then cuts back in, and he can go again. But James Allen, unfortunately, only holding 7th at the moment after being the 2nd quickest car in terms of lap time all race. He was on for that 2nd place overall, and indeed looked like he was going to be chasing down for the win. But he currently sits 7th behind these two dicing pair again.
Now, these cars have to be a certain age, don't they? Because you're not allowed newer Fords in this.
Anything pre-2013 we allow.
Does that mean that the spares getting into sort of current classic or recent classic status are more expensive?
They can be if you're smart about it.
Look at Stefan Marsh.
Stefan Marsh down the inside. Go on, Steph. He's had a great move down the inside. James Allen's going to have a go as well. And he gets alongside the Tangerine Dream.
Oh, they were a band, weren't they? You probably don't...
Oh, he's sideways. Just tried to get down the inside of Stefan Marsh. And he tries again, and he hits Stefan Marsh.
Tolan tags him.
Oh, that's such a shame.
Are they mates? They were.
They were. We'll have to see what happens afterwards, but unfortunately, a bit of contact there.
That's a shame. That is a massive, massive shame. That's definitely stuffed. Well, I thought that stuffed.
No, he's going again. He's just going to check the back of the car, make sure everything's wiggling as it should. And James Allen following it. It's almost every lap now on that same part of the circuit that James Allen has to reset the car and then go again. But Scott Tolan, I think, was going for a gap that was always going to close from Steph turning in. And James Allen was there at around 2, and unfortunately it resulted in a bit of contact for the Escort Cosworth. Luckily, they're still going. A bit more orange peel on the Tangerine Dream as they go down the straight. James Allen getting a little bit comfy on the outside.
James looking to the outside as they go through Tower Bend, and if he can hold on to that line, he may... Well, he's not going to do that, so it might be a cutback instead, but again, just struggling on that corner. He's not going to, we know he's not going to be able to do anything on past form coming into the complex a little bit later on. Stefan Marshall struggles on behind them. It's still Andy Robinson from Paul Neville and Ben Purnell who is next up.
And Scott Tolan having a bit of a grassy moment there as well. I'm wondering if he's now struggling with the handling of that car. He may have bent a bit of the steering with the contact that he had with Steph, but it certainly rotated Stefan round. It doesn't look like Stefan's got any issues with his car, but he's following a bit further behind now, and James Allen able to get going. Now let's have a look at James going into the hairpin. There's the Scott Tolan Escort Cosworth, but just up the road. So James turns into the hairpin. Can he get on the power coming out? No, it's done exactly the same thing again. It's cutting out. It's always around that left-hander.
Loses a shed load of places. It's a shame for James Allen. What an entertaining drive we had from him from the back of the grid. The team have worked so hard, and I'm guessing other people in the paddock to try and help get him out.
He's always got a good team of people there with him, and working away on the car to get it ready at each round. All immaculately dressed. I think he's got them all uniforms and everything with his logo on. Always immaculately prepared car and team from James Allen. But here is our man as the clock counts down to 3 seconds to go, 2, 1. We're going to get our race winner here on screen. That's Andy Robinson in that beautiful V8 supercar, a worthy winner of race 2 here in the modified Fords as it screams towards the line and takes the checkered flag. So our winner for race 2 for the modified Ford series is Andy Robinson.
Paul Neville's going to get second. He's just negotiating the hairpin at the moment. Lovely to hear some warm applause for him. Paul Neville goes rally crossing and gets the back end of the car out, but collects it all up. Goodness me.
He definitely put the rally sport into RS then, didn't he?
He did.
Fantastic result. And Ben Parnell takes 3rd place after having gear shift issues in race 1. He'll be really pleased with that, with a 3rd overall in the RSR Ford Escort. And Kevin White with a brilliant drive, 4th place. And for me, oh, there's more contact. James Allen's around, and that is Scott Tollan. They've had more contacts around the complex at the back, and Stefan Marsh goes through to take the place. So it looks like there's been some further contact round. James Allen's car is stationary, and Scott Tollan has managed to get underway. Stefan Marsh is going to come through and take 5th overall, but unfortunately, it looked like there was some further contact on that last lap. I'll go back to the driver of the day quickly. For me, it's Kevin White. I think in that Fiesta, he's driven that car superbly, punched well above his weight all weekend.
Good shout. It's a very good shout.
And a superb effort from him. Driver of the Day award sponsored by Scale Electric, of course. But thank you for all of our sponsors for this weekend. Once again, we've got Club Racing UK, DC Dancow and Auto Services Limited. We've got Ian Blackley Automotive Services, and we've got MTS Motorsport as well. So thank you to our sponsors, to the modified Fords. But a worthy winner there on our screen, Richard.
Absolutely right. Well done to Andy Robinson. We'll hear again from him with John Ratcliffe in the victory lane a little bit later on. You were saying about Scale Electric being a sponsor. There are a couple of cars in the series that you could get as well.
Yes, absolutely. I think there's 7 or 8 cars you can get now.
Is that many?
Mostly Escorts. I will admit.
I keep meaning to buy the Tony Paxman one because I go back a long way with
Hopefully,
Paxman,
we will see Mr. Paxman out with us soon. He's a character, is old Tony.
The other one I was hoping to see this weekend was Graham Waite, and I thought being near Scotland we might see Graham. I don't know if he's got problems with the car or otherwise.
Yeah, it wasn't on song when we were last out at Mondello, so hopefully we'll see Graham and indeed Gary out soon as well with us. Always welcome in the modified Ford series.
That'd be good to see. But yeah, what a treat to see the fan. And it's run well, isn't it, as well? I mean, it looks beautiful. It's run superbly.
Run by an enthusiast that puts a lot of love and care and attention into those cars. So beautiful.
So Andy, well done, Andy Robinson. Paul Neville as well, the man who looks after the series, does such a fantastic job with the series. And hope that we get them to visit Croft again very, very soon indeed. We'll run through the results. The cars are coming down into pit lane, so we'll be able to go and talk to the winners in a moment, but a quick recap for you of how they finished on their second race of the weekend. Andy Robinson takes the outright win in the supercar Ford Falcon, with Paul Neville in second, taking the class win in second. Ben Purnell is class winner as well. Kevin White, our driver of the weekend, is in 4th place from Stefan Marsh. Scott Tollan did recover ultimately for 6th place from Chris Harrison. Ian Blackley in 8th from Steve Primmett. Good drive into 9th from Steve Primmett. James Allen in 10th from Alistair McMillan. Piers Warwick next up from Lucas Dryden. And Leslie Chapelhow in 14th. '15th was David Guthrie and 16th Dave Barrett. Obviously those drivers having issues, which was a shame, but we wish them well for a safe trip home and a better luck next time out. Cars down into Park Fair. Rob Lewis, thank you ever so much for joining us on the mic. Always a pleasure. Great to see you. Even better to get a chance to work with you on the mic.
Always a pleasure, Richard. Thank you to everyone for tuning in and watching this, and it's going to be a great Super Sport endurance race later on.
Yeah, we're looking forward to that. When do we see you in Modified Fords again?
We are out at Cadwell Park in mid-August, but if you head to modifiedfords.co.uk, all the information about the series will be on there, including all the entry lists, so you're able to go on there and actually see who's committing to enter the next
So you can
few
see
rounds.
what cars you're going to be able to see?
Yeah.
Great stuff. I think we just had the message to say that John is down in victory lane and ready. If not, I will talk a little bit more, but let's see if we've got John for you.
Well then, another cracking race here at Croft. Great to see the modified Fords out yet again. Of course, sadly, the last time we see them out today, but don't be sad that we won't. Be happy that it happened and what racing we saw out there on circuit. Let's go and try and chat to some of our drivers then. We'll see if we can grab our winner overall and, of course, class winner as well. Got the leaf blower out already. Is that for you or the car?
That's for me. The car can wait.
Well, what a race yet again. Of course, sadly, we didn't get the pole sitter starting the race, but it meant P2 in the first race, P1 in the second race. Should be pretty happy with that.
walk in the park. Walk in the park. I just had to watch my mirrors and there was nobody coming, so yeah, I'll take that one. Sorry to see Dave not out though, but he probably would have won, but you got to be in it to win it, so...
We'll try not to get run over. But yeah, exactly. You were in it and you won it, so well done.
Thank you, Seb. Cheers, thank you.
And I was just going to say as well, I spoke to you about how amazing your car looks after the previous race. I was able to stand on the pit wall for that one. It sounds epic as well.
Oh, well, sounds good from inside as well. Yeah.
Hope you got some good earplugs.
Yes, we have, yeah.
Okay, good. Well done, mate. Yeah, P1. Cheers, well done. Right, let's crack on then. I think the other two were slightly further down. Who's over here? Thank you. With the cooling there from the Milwaukee fan. I think some cooling really needed in that one, to be fair.
Absolutely, yeah.
It's Paul, isn't it, Paul? Paul, cracking again. Again, seeming like you were a little bit far away from everyone else.
A bit no man's land again, but I just keep it pinned, and you know, I sort of try and better my times or try and learn a line. So there's always something to be gained out of racing, you know, out of doing what you do. So yeah, it's good. Finished in one piece, no drama. So yeah, I'm good with that.
Exactly. Yeah, should be happy with that. And how do you think about this Croft track as well? Of course, it's been a bit of a hot one, but the circuit itself, is it one you enjoy?
The weather's been great. You know, I'm not afraid of the weather. It's a bit hot, but that's fine. But the track's good. It's really good. The only thing I'd like to cut out is that stupid hairpin. I just can't get around it. I could walk quick around that hairpin.
Honestly, yeah. I've raced it previously in the Fun Cups that were on the bill yesterday, and it feels like an age before you can get up the throttle. And if you go a bit too early, you just run out wide, don't you?
Yeah, definitely. So, but the rest of it's great. It's fantastic. Awesome. Really good.
Glad you enjoyed it. Well done, P2. Cracking. Well done. Right, let's continue on. I'll see if I can find Ben Purnell, if Ben is around here. Anyway, he might actually be sat on the bonnet, so he might actually be helping me a little bit down here. Is it Ben? Hello, Ben. Good to chat with you. Your car looks bent.
Yes.
P3 on the roads. You must be pretty happy with that one.
I was, considering I started second from the back. Yeah, so yeah, it wasn't bad. But I've just had issue after issue after issue. So, but same old, and everyone gets that. So, but
exactly. That's what happens with these kind of cars. Yeah, but I mean, like I was going to say, P16, I think it was on the grid, all the way through to the podium. Yeah. What's it like cutting through a field like this?
Yeah, it was a bit tricky. Just don't want to do anyone any damage. Do you know what I mean? And just try and keep it on the track. So, yeah, it's good crack, mate. Yeah, it's good.
Exactly. Can you talk us through? I mean, it's a beautiful car. What's it like to drive one of these things?
It's fairly easy, to be honest with you. It's quite a forgiving car, you know. So, just got to be on it. Just take your time and practice, isn't it?
Are those full slick tyres?
Yeah, they are, mate. Yeah, everyone runs slick, so yeah, it's banging.
Epic. A lot of grip on a day like today, a lot less when it's maybe more British weather.
They've gone off a bit. It was starting to slide around a bit, but they got too hot, like,
Of course.
It's all right.
Lots of fun to drive and a P3 overall.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Well done, mate. Cheers. Thank you very much. Right then, no cars just out on track just yet, but sadly, there's only one race to go so far on the bill here today, of course. Now, this is a long name, so I'm going to have to refer back to my booklet. The PBS Brakes Supersport Endurance Cup is up next for their 2-hour endurance race as we finalise the weekend here at Croft.